and go.
Another one about to be in the books, Michael.
Yeah.
We made it.
Well, it wasn't a matter if we would make it, it was how we would make it.
Yeah, and pretty good compared to I'd say a lot of people took haircuts. In fact, I need one. But I want to start off with Apple, which we gave our viewers a heads up when I thought 140 was just a hope low. And then I thought we would break down under 130, which we did for a day and a half. But here we are right back at the 130 level. And, people going into next year really have to reflect on what changes they need to make. And the biggest change I've made in the last couple of years is about not being stubborn and being attached to a narrative and being able to change my mind. So am I still bearish Apple, Mike? Yeah. But the fact that we're not following through on this breakdown under 130 tells me that Apple could still rally back to 140. And so that's going to be my key, should the strength continue into new year, to see what Apple does if it gets back up towards 140.
Coach, why don't you share your Twitter feed and show our viewers where you took off your short at Apple yesterday?
My Twitter, as far as shorting it?
Well, you covered it dead low.
Yeah.
I'll share that. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Anyway, so that changes
my
mind here. Although there are certain things that are also danger signals, like deer. We talked about that being a little bit more developed than cat, but cat is looking heavy to me too. Look at these divergences in cat.
And Boeing, proper rotation today if you want. I mean, Boeing's giving back. I mean, the market's up nicely, and you're having the rotation that should happen, which you called, including deer and cat.
Okay.
And that's what's happening right now.
So the value, trades.
Well, what's happening now. Tesla now is a value stock. Campbell's Soup is now a value stock. You know what I mean? They flipped.
Yeah.
So I'll answer some of your things about end of the year rebalancing. Sure, Campbell's Soup having an unprecedented move, as a lot of these consumer staples have. General Mills, another one, if you will. Yeah, would I be surprised if somebody rotated and took some profits off the table, like some other strong sectors, like the oils and the fins, and put some, maybe run the end of the year into some Amazon or Apple, like you said? Do I think it's a statement that I've been saying a lot is, do I think I can put on Apple like I can put on other things, put not a decent size, because I like to add to it if it goes up, especially when it's in a downtrend. But I'm certainly not going to walk away and not look at the trade. I don't think this is certainly it. But the rotation, as we can see today, and I'll get into my screen in a second after.
Interest sensitive stocks doing better. The semis.
Well, that's what you want.
Even the banks are up a little bit here today. And the heavy industries, recession, that would be more worried about a recession than semis or financials. And I'm wondering what you're thinking about things like uranium going into next year. This one really has had a nice move, hasn't given anything back. I think this is the one you gave me to watch on uranium.
Well, UEC and also CCJ.
Yeah,
which it had a little bit of a hangover because they bought somebody, I think look at RNA, my God, mid last year. And that's the best of breed, if you will. But you know what I mean? I think everything there, it's kind of, the news is out, considering the war, the inflation story, whether it's very real or not, it is. I'm not dismissing it. Is a little bit
still looks good too.
What's that?
Baba
is
looks
the one
like it wants to run to new highs.
Baba is the one that I'm accumulating, and that's the one I like. Correct. Baba and Baidu is the other one. If you want to pull up BID,
I want to congratulate you, because I would have, not have been thinking about trading China like you have the last 2-3 months, and that's really been kind of the best place to be. Maybe biotechs and China. Strange combination, isn't it?
It is, but if you put your hand over the symbol and just went to the chart and the price action, you really didn't have. You didn't have to overthink it because this is a smash and grab market. Overthinking is it's almost like these, you know what? It's almost a blank sheet of paper type of market where if you just trade go day by day, split even the day in two and just trade price action and range and not get hung up on going again. That's what, that's where the money has been made.
Yeah. So, just something else I noticed, and I know silver's strong today.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was saying that it was having a Wile E. Coyote moment. I don't know how it's going to come in early next year, but to me, even a new high is a sale for me, and under 2350 is a sale, and it's up pretty good today, right? When you say, it's up 34. Okay, so silver's up 34, S&Ps are up 57, and you tell me what's wrong with these silver stocks. They look like they're not even related. AG hasn't made a new high since November. With all the new highs we've had in the bullion, SILJ tried to, but couldn't. Some of these silver juniors look like they could still get cheaper. This has been the strength. This is my favorite buy on a hit next year.
Okay.
We rallied 100% on this silver stock. So put it on your watch list for next year. So if we take it down 50% back to between 3 and 240, I'm accumulating if that happens and we get that break in silver. And I'm still befuddled, Mike, by the VIX being at 2166, but I started looking at this formation, and we could even have, with more strength early next year, it take out this low. But I have to believe if I went out and bought time and say bought the June 30 calls in the VIX, when the VIX is down there around the recent lows, that I'm going to get paid before the summer.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't talk you off the trade as your Caterpillar's going down now.
I mean,
let me just tell you this: the fund's worst position, and
I know it's VIX.
The VIX long.
I know the toughest thing is to find the right instrument. So, I mean, I bought this the other day and I said, you know what? I've done this movie. I've seen this movie before. It's not the right instrument. VIX could be up 10% and this could be up 1.
I just I don't have conviction. And believe me, I know how to maneuver, if you will. And I say that in a professional manner, is that if I'm flip-flopping and playing hopscotch with my longs and shorts, certainly how am I going to try to time the market, which I'm not trying to time. So what I don't know the road. I don't know what to rotate. I don't know how to put it. I don't know what to rotate into. My biggest, like I say again, a broken record. Short term, no problem. I hope the VIX goes to 40. Love the action during the day. I'm
looking for 50 in 2023.
But coach, I understand that. When the market was, it's not correlating to where I could see that.
It's not.
But we will wait when the VIX was between 28 and 32. We were waiting for it to go to that 40, and believe me, I thought
never
so
did.
too.
Yeah,
and it never did. So I don't. What would even propel it to even go higher than our original target of 40?
3,100 S&Ps.
Okay, well,
and a breakdown under 3,600 on a closing basis would do it. A credit event, a war event. How about this? Everyone's made a ton of money being short vol all year. All year they sold vol, and even when VIX was going up, they were making money selling vol. I think that the short vol guys, and I've seen this before.
I'm listening. Believe me, this isn't
where instruments end up disappearing that were, long VIX things, and they ended up delisting them.
Oh, I understand. That was one of like 6 to 8 years ago, wiped everybody out overnight.
Yeah. So,
TVIX, it was TVIX.
Yeah, that, and there was another one, UVIX, I think it was, and it disappeared.
I remember that.
So, I'm watching this.
I
think we'll get to 39.50. Oil, you know what? Oil, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Oil, right? Here's WTI. So I think you're right to buy it. but I think you could get it a little cheaper, maybe around $74. But I like the oil. The oils still look good, but I think you could buy weakness. So we'll see what happens there. But my main point is, look how strong silver is. Look how strong the market is. Why is SILJ only up 5 cents
No,
today?
I have one. If I was just saying before that I don't really. How can you give a prediction or price
And
target going 6 months out with all these binary situations happening? How can you have conviction like that? I appreciate that people have to do their job, just like a reporter trying to report on things that are really mundane. But with all these events that you said for why the market could go to your target, could be the same reason why it just goes to the opposite way. And by the way, I
it
happen to agree
could.
with, hold on,
I mean, what's his name? David could be right. And
I
this was
agree.
just another break to buy. And we're on our way to new highs. I know some people that are thinking that we'll get through 4,100 first, but I want to see it prove itself, and it would take closes back over 4,000. So I'm looking for shorts between 39.5 and 4,000 in the coming days if it gets up there.
Well, you know
And
what? I'm sorry.
no, that's okay.
You
And
know
I
what's been
think,
happening, and I made a pun about it yesterday, that its buyer has been buying higher and sellers have been selling lower.
okay,
But can we change?
yeah, grab the screen, see what's on your
I want to
mind.
get into some, can you share? Yeah. I want to get into some specific things, including what's been going on with TradeGATEHub as we wind down 2022, psyched about 2023. Something took a bad downtick. What was that? I got you. All right, no problem. Give me a second because I'm buying something here. Okay. New share, TradeGATEHub. Boom, we're in. All right. Now, the question, coach, is what is the rotation going to be like? Like I said, this has been a smash and grab market, and until the VIX, this is what I basically see is that. Let me share a chart on the spies generally, if you will. I'll use it as that as a general frame of reference. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we are in a basic range, what I consider still a range bound situation. It's certainly looking more ominous than better. But either we have to have, and I posted on TGH yesterday, go to the red YouTube button and I posted everybody's price targets all the way from the high, what I think is Deutsche Bank, down to the low, which I forget who the low is, but go through that. It was only posted yesterday. So there is a wide range of targets from anywhere from 4,500 to your 2,900. Goldman being somewhere in the middle, Costin maybe 32, 3,300. That seems like the right barometer. Certainly, I see where you're coming from. And by the way, I'm not arguing, but I'm trying still to, as a tactical active manager, trying to put predictions aside. As I say, leave those to professionals like yourself and
All right. Do this. Draw a trend line from the low in June. Put the low of June. Okay, there, and then the low of October, and then stretch it out. Just a trend line.
And line study, horizontal. All right,
Well, that's gonna be horizontal. We need a trend line.
that's it. No,
No,
where am I going? You said October.
June and then October. They're not equal to. But
I
anyway,
got you right here.
yeah,
Oh, I
that
understand
trend.
where you're going. I
Yeah.
understand.
So that would be a 3 down there. Comes in around 33.5, 34. And if we start giving way on this week's lows around this, looks like 375 or so, that's what it measures. Because from the high we had 2 weeks ago to the lows we have here, just arithmetically, it would be a new low. That might be the cleansing event that the market needs. And anything that is holding the October low, when the averages do this, I think are really your prime buy candidates. If they hold their October low while the S&Ps are making new lows, that's a real strong tell to me about its relative strength.
Listen, coach, I understand that. For the market, here's a look at the spies. Listen, a couple of things either have to happen. The longer the market stays in this range, the longer the shorts get frustrated and the rotation becomes more evident, things balance themselves out. So, but yet again, what everybody would like, and the healthiest thing for you to believe would just be kind of a flush out and getting, listen, a lot of people have disappeared. I'm not going to lie. I could see in my, in the Twitter feeds, and I'm an optimistic person when it comes to the markets in general. But you know, even the paid subscription services that I get offered and or use, the followers that they have been depleting rapidly. On a side note, as we've been picking up more of viewers, by the way, at least TradeGATEHub YouTube channel, because we offer a couple of things, a free product and a high level of what we do in opinion, and in multiple levels. So I digress.
Yeah, anyone who's been long anything all year is most likely down.
No,
Bonds, equities, crypto, everything.
you know what I mean? Square for something that I thought was even a bit, which as of 6 months ago was considered. I mean, stocks that are going, you know, I had a position in these stocks. Then they looked like they were turning around from 63 to 84. And it just, I mean, it just happens like that. So it's, for me personally, I want to get into more real-time trades to pick me, you know, from people to make money here, because we have a couple of shows at the end of the year to tell us, you know, to extrapolate what we're talking on now. But the main thing what I'm focusing on is I outperform the indexes. I underperform myself. And this was a year where the VIX was sometimes elevated 38, you know, 28 to 32 is you know, that's a money grabbing situation for me. It really is. And it comes down for a person over 25, approaching 30 years trading, that this is it. I know what to do. The greatest acumen of TradeGATEHub, besides being free, is that we're all around the ideas of every type of trading financial instrument, to short, medium, and long term, with high level guests like you just had on an hour and a half ago.
Tavi.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, please go back and I'm going to show. Well, I'll get into it again. I don't want to go on too many tangents. Things are going off left and right. Is that you know, it's not that type of market. It's kind of a I don't want to digress. It's a smash and grab market. So what I learned is that trading's not difficult. I made it more difficult, going out of what I know to do of my plans. And that's why I have more. I've been looking at my numbers and things more than ever. I've seen where I acted like Marco Simonis, like, you know, the prophet. I broke things down with time of day more than ever. And you know what, as we say at the TradeGATEHub, numbers don't lie, and sometimes you have to look at them. So as I look at the end of the year here, I'm just sticking to price actions, range, and volume. No one really knows, and no one does know. I'll go to TradeGATEHub in a second, and I'll sign on and show you that.
There are a lot of bears, Mike. I saw the DSI on the S&P is at about 10 or 15.
Absolutely.
You know, that's way.
But you know what, Coach, you don't have to worry. You're right. And you know what? When you signed on this morning, one of our rapidly growing viewers, and the guy who's actually saving me from posting a lot of material, is Gerard. And this is what he posted this morning. First thing, when I looked up, first of all, wherever Jobafish is, if you don't watch Wall Street within the next couple of weeks and I quiz you on it, you're out of the room. I'm serious, man. That's one of the only stipulations. But Gerard was posting the CPCE, and he said that the puts were almost 2-to-1 over calls. And you know what he learned? He posted that before I signed on. And I want to even give him edification on his, or for everybody else to even have. Listen, everybody should first of all believe in the data that we put out. I don't have a bias, whatever it is. I don't care. I'm just trying to give you the highest level menu out there to go with it. So Gerard posted the CPCE, and I posted it this morning. Helene, yesterday's put call ratio was the highest in early March 2020.
Wow.
So go to the chart on March 2020 and see what the market did. It's no surprise that
we're up big today.
Then here we are today. It doesn't mean that I think that I can go walk away and say, this is it, Mom. Everything flipped around. This is it. You know, I'm going in a different tax bracket, but certainly using those sentiments. And let me go to even here. Short term is, which everybody knows is my greatest acumen. Here was the short term sentiment going into today. So you have to take a little bit of a risk. You know, some things did rotate. The winners you let go, the winners you hold, the losers you let go, and that's it. You know, I don't know what to say. Hedge fund exposure a little bit for the long term is a problem, because they're getting more complacent as the VIX is bleeding to this level. That I do not like And that's not why I'm going to take a vacation. I wouldn't anyway. I'm being exaggerating.
I mean, the complacency, it's so weird. Put call ratio is saying one thing that people are scared to death, or they just, think the market's going to crash.
Maybe
And
they're just,
VIX is saying that that everyone's complacent, right?
look at BHC was 6. I'm not complacent.
Well, I'm
I'm
saying
not
that
any,
the
no, no,
VIX is
hold on. No,
reflecting complacency.
no, it is.
Th-
And that's why I even bought some VIX today, like I told you. And that's the one thing I even bought it today. It made me cringe. I said, Mike, Mike, don't do it. I don't want to do it, but I had to press the enter button. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Look where the market is, where the market is. You know what I mean? It's the end of the year. I don't have to try and mark them up. I'm not here to guess. But Tesla, Tesla is given a decent.
Finally, yeah,
The stocks, like the guy that still is not back from vacation, took a 2-week Viking cruise.
yeah. He's
Still
hoping to get even on a 20% rally in the
in
S&Ps.
2 weeks. You know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
guy that took the vacation and took his whole family away, to Europe, it was 130 when he left. I'm hoping he didn't look at it at 126 when you covered it, but now it's still, it's below where he left vacation. Should he be happy? No, there's no complacency.
I heard a story that during the crash of 29, there really wasn't that great overseas type of communication. And this one manager and his fund, they were all long, and they were on the boat during the crash, trying to get back. He couldn't do anything, just sitting on the boat
That was
until he
reminiscent of a
landed
stock
in the,
operator. That was Jesse. That was Jesse Livermore. He was
that
short
was,
weed in Palm Beach.
oh, okay.
That's reminiscence of a stock operator.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
fact.
he told the story about the guy who was on a boat. And
No, that was Jesse Livermore. He was on the
oh,
boat in Palm Beach and he was short weed. That's
oh,
true.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
Lewis, good call, by the way.
yeah.
Everybody's posting here. Good. Thank you for posting.
Yeah. So I hope we've helped not just a handful of guys that are coming in here. And, I want to say something about that. If you want to change what happened to you this year, you have to take a step. You have to take an action. And I don't care what it is, find a community. Doesn't have to be us, but you need to do something different and declare that you're going to commit to it for a certain period of time. If you come in here and you pay attention to what we're doing and our ideas, whether you do or not, if you don't, it's not going to change my life. But you know what? If you do, it could change yours.
Well, listen, you want the life that we have. And the life that we have is autonomy, accountability,
Yeah.
earn the right to basically, it's ironic how I came to a degree. It's not really to a degree. The passion followed is I wanted to become a trader because I wanted to have autonomy in my life. And I work more hours than most people I know, but that's the passion. You know what I mean? So it works that way. Posting a lot of things here. There's a chart on the 4-hour SPX. Keep a note of it. This is supposed to be one of the lightest volumes week of the year. So all you have to do is go to one of our queries we use, Stock Scanner, right here. All you have to be worried about today is up high on relative volume. And by the way, volume is a little bit skewed because it's a slow week. But as of 11:25 a.m. on tomorrow is a Friday, we're approaching stocks that are trading already a whole page of 1.5%, 2%, 2 times its volume, not even by noon. And you're having some winners. So some SE, you're having Uber, TJTX mentioned several times by me, down on high on relative volume still. Stocks that are trading 100% of its volume is 11:30 a.m. So these are the ones you have to be concentrating on. EDU is one of my calls, get to know it. So this is basically the page, new highs as of, these are the new high lists, Crem, NASDAQ. So they're squeezing some ENVX. Here's one yesterday. I posted a lot. ALT. I posted, is this ALT? Let's go right ALT. ALT was the one I posted. I said ALT is one of my favorite stocks. But go over
They have
yesterday.
A cancer vaccine, a lot of biotechs working on different vaccines.
It is. Look at Lucid. Somebody's been very wrong. Lucid, seeing nearly $1 billion in insider buys on Lucid. Lucid was one of my best losses of the year, which could have been a disaster. And Lewis, you know better than anybody. Here's the chart on Lucid. I had a 5-figure position, 40 shares or something. Calls were going left and right, coach, left and right. I finally sold it at the whole number at 10, went to 580. Calls were, and insiders are still buying billions. Calls were flying. So you have to trust the price action. You can't just go with the normal, well, it's got a cheap PE. Everybody said Google had the cheapest PE going out there for a while. But you know what I mean? It didn't matter. Campbell Soup is now overpriced. Does it matter? Am I surprised people are taking some money off the table and rotating? Maybe, they had a huge move in Campbell Soup. Even in the last 2 months, it almost went up, what, to 15%. I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? So DuPont, same thing. Am I surprised it's pulling back a little bit, from the run like this? No. So we'll see what happens. But we're giving you
that could go to 64. I was thinking about it. The whole world was captivated by the World Cup. And remember, we were asked some questions about the similarities between trading and soccer.
Yeah.
And what wins championships and also in the NFL is great defense. You
Coach,
can't lose if your opponent can't score.
I'm telling you, I hope management will agree here, though. I'm offensive.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Well, I'm saying a great defense is your risk.
I played the best defense I have. I learned more about myself. I said this, Coach, I hope you'll agree, is that in a bear market than I ever have. I played tremendous defense. I mean, I got out of some problems that just could have been maybe that I shouldn't have been in, but I'm an active manager. But selling stocks, just taking a position in stocks like, Hood, or a stock like Lucid, or even taking a position in I haven't touched Amazon.
What was your biggest landmine this year?
My biggest landmine is the one I'm in. It's BWV.
Okay, and what was your best shot?
My best trade?
Best shot, yeah.
Selling Nerve.
Okay, wow, okay.
Hold on.
So being short worked, being long didn't. Isn't that a commentary?
There was, by the way, I had a tremendous amount of Nerve from 3. I think I sold it at 10. At a couple 100,000 shares.
Nice. All right, Mike. Well, what do you think? I know you don't. You're not a market forecaster. So, what was your most important lesson in 2022?
To not in difficult markets, to not from a person who considered himself 3, 4, 5 tool trader. I just got tired of trying to fight things and make hard money. I'm not really an averaging type of guy. I played the poor stocks I'm in. 85% of my losses this year came from stocks under $4. And believe me,
there's another lesson.
There are stocks have been coming, stocks that, I made, nice
stocks that institutions can't participate in.
Well, that's also because, and then they die. And then I have to babysit them, and then it winds up poisoning the account, and I wind up losing opportunity. I wind up missing out on what I do best, and that's what really upsets me.
Yeah, the opportunity cost.
I'm not being involved on things that A, come naturally. Yeah. B, I worked hard for to come naturally, if that makes sense. And instead, I took myself outside of my game. And now I have to wake up at 4:05 Eastern because a stock, like, give me an example, or I'll pull a BWB, for example. This will pop, don't get me wrong. But, when it does pop, it pops to I have to go to the daily. It will pop to.
So do you have to make an appointment to trade it?
Yes, I do. I can't leave. I mean, I have 80,000 shares for it.
It's like calling the doctor's office.
But I can't leave an 80,000 share offer out there because I'm going to block myself.
Yeah.
So I have to wake up at 4:05. And by the way, the thing about this, it's not like the trend will change. It will run for 2 hours for 300%, and it will die again for 2 months. And
I've seen that.
And the same with something like a
so their IR, they pay for their IR to come in and buy shares so they could liquidate and raise cash.
Well, it's the same thing with something like a bivvy that sits there for $1.97. And another one is Noggin. My 2 biggest winners are Noggin. Oh, look at Noggin. All right. This one, one day it will pull 3, but I'm in it from $1.60, whatever it is. It's 84 cents. It's just outside.
I
I
know.
made some good trades. What are the good ones I trade? Like these ones I trade well, like IQ, I trade well. These little ones that went from, I'm in IQ now, by the way, China stock. But getting it back to my lessons, we're going a little bit overboard. It's just I don't have an ego because I take losses on these things. I'll even take a loss, but I took myself out of the game. Out of my game doesn't mean that not waking up at 4:05 a.m. Eastern. I'll probably do that anyway, just because I want to. It's just I get upset about, I'm used to driving Ferraris. Now I'm driving a 3 Series BMW because there's stocks that I'm not used to. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know how to put it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, live and
But
learn,
I
buddy.
did play. I did play tremendous defenses. A lot of my peers and has just gotten blown out. I mean,
Yeah.
you could sit, everyone from a D dog, even best of breeds that just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, are 81 to 70 is a big move on people who got 48,000 shares, coach.
Here's my dream narrative, Mike.
I
We get
sold
a
D dog.
flush.
Yeah.
We get a flush in the market. It creates a liquidity event where people sell everything. And that creates a buying opportunity for the next couple years. And so that's what I'm looking for. What comes to mind would be miners pull back 50%, 61.8, maybe oils do, that, different groups that are starting to hold up better. Even some of those making new lows with the market, but that's my ideal scenarios that we get that flush to set up the buying opportunity.
Yeah, coach. Example. No, listen. If it does, if it doesn't come, I got to be in something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I am. I'm not forcing it. I'm really not. Everything.
Yeah.
The most. Okay. Here's another thing.
Yeah.
I always know what I buy. But like I say, it's funny when you have a winner, you don't even know when the earnings are coming in out. But if you have a big loser, like this, even know the CEO's wife's name, you know what I mean? You do all the research for a reason why events may come out. As Lewis, by the way, just reminded me about this, and this is another point of maturation. About it's classic after several punches being taken down. For example, like I'm in Nutella. Now I'm selling Nutella this morning because I'm getting beat up in the thing. Do I think it's one of my good trades? Yeah, but look at this. I'm selling it the red, which is 35.50. It might go higher. Crisp, the same thing is this. It's classic. After several punches, and Tim knows this all too well, you close out the winners. And then you left the meat of the trade after there because you're so sick of being down on it. You're happy you're just getting back that you let them go. And that's why you just don't contra trade. You know what I mean? Because when you let
It's all in our heads.
it is. And don't make it more difficult. Everybody here, they know what to do. Here's the screen right here. This is what to do right here. That's it. We're all doing the same thing. Fitch, where's Fitch? I sold a lot of it this morning. Look at this trade. I sold 60,000 Fitch. If I was short it, I wouldn't have covered it. So I'm buying more Fitch right here. Fitch, 60,000 I sold right here. 444. It's 464. It's a big loss. You know what I mean? That's not a big loss, but if I should have let it go, if I was going with the market, I would have just let it go, but I'm going against the market. What's another one? D-Dog. I'm going against the market. I sold. Yeah, this one very could have simply went through coach's trend line and hit 67. So I was contra it. I was buying more. I sold the bulk of it at what? 71. It's 73. I never would have held that if it was a short, for example. You know what I mean?
Okay, Mike.
Netflix, Amazon.
One thing I know for sure, I'm looking forward to us continuing our collaboration next year.
I'm sorry if I'm getting.
Thanks for the edge that you give people.
Oh, definitely. Appreciate that, Coach. Sorry.
Happy New Year, my friend.
You too, Coach. Cheers. Thanks for sharing, guys. Always have a plan. We're going to be on every day. Me at 11, Coach at 9:30. As I said, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being in the room. Thanks for sharing.